is finished, your friends have all gone home. When the gloves come off, the real fights begin. Sleep deprived, drunk or high, all are welcome to Fights on the Round Table. It's late, squires. UFC is finished. Your friends have all gone home. When the gloves come off, the real fights begin. Sleep deprived, drunk or high, all are welcome to Fights on the Round Table. It's late, squires. UFC is finished. Your friends have all gone home. When the gloves come off, the real fights begin. Sleep deprived, drunk or high, all are welcome to Fights on the Round Table. It's late, squires. UFC is finished. Your friends have all gone home. When the gloves come.
We're back at Fights of the Round Table on a star-studded event. Probably the biggest shit show as far as UFC cards we've seen ever. I've been watching since almost day one, and I have never seen this many cards fall out this short notice. We had a fight fall out in between fights.
During the walk
Type of situation. Trevin Giles, how have you guys all been? How was the night? 8-card fight in Vegas. 5.
It was fast. It was fast. Very fast.
Lots of nut shots.
This
10.
card.
11, I thought.
11,
Uncounted.
11 nut shots. They should have like a cup sponsor every time there's a groin shot like that. Just throw up the commercial while they're taking, time to recover.
My animals are going to try to get in a fight right now.
Well, I don't think that they should not do a commercial for a cup because it's showing that they obviously don't work like they're supposed to. You know what I mean? It's like, here, use a cup. You'll still get hurt when you get hit in the balls.
Use a competitor though, oh, this guy. If I was a cup maker, that's what I would try to do. Shock doctor. Try to slide my.
So there's steel ones, right? Why don't everybody use that? Are they outlawed?
Because
those are the tie cups.
They hurt you.
People will break their toes on those tie cups. Kenny Florian's a big proponent of them. A lot of Muay Thai guys and stuff. But then the other rivaling, other than those metal tie cups, is Diamond Cup. I feel like those are pretty much in the lead. But hey, I've trained where I went and bought from Dick's Sporting Goods a cup and was like, large, all right, that fits, let's go. And put it in and was like, oh, Jesus, this hurts so bad.
They were like, what size cup do you need? And you were like, large, of course.
Extra
like
large.
Every kid. Every kid had too big of a cup for their first cup.
It's hilarious.
So, yeah, cups are a big deal. There's no regulations. Everyone gets to pick their own. One of the few things.
Reebok didn't get that in the deal.
So you can have whatever kind of cup you want. Somebody should be inventing a cup for the game. Like, you want to be a fighter that has this cup, it breaks a shin like Anderson Silva someone's leg if they try to kick you in this. Like, it might hurt.
You do have to wear a cup though, because they check you for that. I noticed the ref always taps that.
They do.
Let me check you for a cup.
That's why he gets the job.
What are you packing on there?
He's like, you got a cup on? You got a cup on?
The big bucks.
I thought this fight card was so sloppy. I thought it was a junk fight card. It was garbage.
8. They'll just reschedule it and put all those fights on other nights instead of schedule 8. unbelievable. And the short notice replacements we already had before it even got to that, because we had a week's notice, which was short, but we had two 24-hour notices.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
Ray Borg gone. Gerald Mearshart, Ed Herman gone.
An hour before the fight card, those are gone.
Yeah.
And
Trevin
then,
Giles.
yes, Giles fainting. I should have known. I don't know what I feel like there was some kind of weird jinx on this fight night.
It was bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
I couldn't stay completely glued to the screen like some fight nights. I kept getting distracted for sure.
Look, I'm sorry. I tried, but I didn't. I was not emotionally invested in only one fight. Only one fight got me out of my seat, and that was the Venata Bobby Green fight.
Oh yeah, that was a great fight.
Other than that, I didn't give a shit. I just didn't. Even the main event, I didn't care.
Wow.
But
I mean, I felt like there was a lot more in these fights than what you're saying. I feel like a lot more meaning to them. It's pretty good. Like Shahbazyan versus Brunson, that was a pretty good fight. He kind of, Brunson was like the gatekeeper for Shahbazyan to break into like the top 5, I guess.
10.
Yeah,
I don't really know where Brunson is, but I know that he's had fights with the top 5.
Yeah, and lost them, but yeah.
I mean, he's beat somebody like Machida, bro.
It's true. I made a good case for Brunson, but ultimately the line swayed me to stay with Shahbazyan. But I was making really great points that I feel like actually turned up more in the fight than I gave credit. The more I was just like, ugh.
Your boy picked Brunson.
I think Heinisch could beat freaking Shahbazyan in the same kind of tactics.
It was funny when the guy, or who was it, Fitzgerald, said, "Oh, this is as far as Shahbazyan's ever been in a fight," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, he's gonna get winded."
Right.
You already saw in that second round, he was looking heavy.
God. He was out on the end of that second round. He was out.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of other fights way before that main event. A ton of showcases. I mean, it started off with Gutierrez with short notice replacement. Who was he?
Cody Durden.
Durden. He was a week's out. He found out about the fight a week out because but he was considered long notice. I thought in my brain, I was just like, oh, he's had a whole week to train. That's better than most of these other guys that have only had 24 hours. Right. And let that sway me to an extent. I'm glad that I tried to talk people off of Gutierrez in this spot with that fight IQ, because I think the lack of it showed at times. 10-8 first round. Blech! Blech!
I think I missed most of the first fight.
He brought it back.
That was the first fight, right?
That was the first fight, but he just got a takedown to Durden and stay on the back the whole first round. But Gutierrez didn't even try to get out, so they 10-8'd it, which, cool, just be fair across the board, because that third round should have been a 10-8 for Gutierrez, but it didn't reflect that in the draw. At least it's my eye, what I was seeing soberly.
Before this fight, actually before it started, I had gotten a text from E that said, "Hey, FYI, change your DraftKings cards. Mearshart and whoever Herman fell out. Change your DraftKings cards. Alert, alert!" I was cutting my hair, giving my dog a bath, like not even worried about the first fight. I was like, whatever. It's changed so many times at this point. So all my not all, but already. I only played 4 cards tonight, but 2 of them already shit the bed because of the friggin' Herman Mearshart, because I had one of them affording a spot on the card, so it kind of sucked that card was last. And I was looking forward to that.
I keep forgetting to do DraftKings. I need to get on that.
How much money do you guys spend on that?
Depends on the fight. I tend to go heavier on pay-per-view. I know my own betting style on where I'm good now, and I do better the more known the fighters are, and I tend to do better the main cards. So when it's a pay-per-view, they have more options for you to just do main cards, and then I'll usually get money. if I listen to your guys' show, you can do different bets from 10 cents or something, maybe 25 cents, all the way up to like $1,000. If I'm doing a pay-per-view, I might get crazy, and crazy for me will be like I did a $25 card, but I'm not. It's like one card on a crazy pay-per-view because I won a bunch the week before. That's like going crazy. Most of the time, I'm just doing $1 and $5, like $1 and $3 cards. But like tonight, I spent $16. So it's not even a big hoopah. I lost $16, but last week I did so good it was like free.
Tough night with all of the falling out, with all of the short notice, just a ton of really weird reads. I really took a lot of the betting off of it because of just all of this. So it turns it of the game within the game, just like an NFL and basketball. DraftKings is the only reason I'll even watch those sports whenever they're going now, if I try to play them. But I have so much fun in MMA that I'm fine. We have so many cards on the horizon that I'm good just saving my money week to week to be able to spend it in those type of tournaments and stuff.
I'm definitely looking to get into some of them, man. I'm telling you.
We got a hell of a one coming up.
And where E does really well, where I'll try to, especially like I sit right next to him, but where he does really good is knowing he knows more about everything you can bet on. So if like there's Bovada, and you can go and he'll be like, you should put a prop on this to finish inside, or you should put a bet on this to finish, by a knockout for this fighter. So you can pick very specific fighters that you feel really confident about, and you can make money just on being really specific. So there's a lot of other bet styles you can do besides just DraftKings. But DraftKings is almost the hardest bet style because you have to come out with a 6-person parlay if you really want to win DraftKings. So if you really had a 6-person parlay on Bovada, you might win like $200 on a dollar. It would be such a different amount of money victory. So like with those betting sites, right? I don't know if it's because we're in Maryland or what, but I've never had luck. I might just not know what I'm looking through, but like it's literally like I go to like look on these websites. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what I'm looking at. And then I had a buddy of mine who put some money on there, and then all of a sudden it was a bunch of money taken away and shit. Like he got like fucked over. Maryland might be weird.
I don't remember which one it was.
You do have to look at your state because there is laws and there is internet restrictions, whether you guys like it or not, that will censor your amount of betting style because the servers for your state don't allow that site to go through. Or it's
what were we laughing about, Rick?
Yeah.
I'm just remembering when you tried to play DraftKings on MMA and we were still going to Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, DraftKings works. And my best night was when I went head-to-head with Emmanuel. I played a couple other cards. No, I played a couple other cards, and every time that was the one time I made money off the damn bets.
That's what hooked you.
Nope. I literally I pulled it all out. I said, "Give me my money." I said, "I'm done."
Good for you. A lot of us keep staying in where we're losing money and, up and down where
I need a gas that week.
Cash out. But it makes it more interesting. It definitely allows it to be
like
cheaper.
With DraftKings, one of the awesome, luckily for me with the DraftKings, if I do good, I won't really cash it out. It's just like free I'll be like, oh, I can play DraftKings now free for a year. I haven't had enough of a winnings to wake Jerry.
Yeah, I think that joke.
It don't take me much. It don't take much for me to be like, I want enough. Give me it.
That's smart betting, though.
It is.
I remember when we used to play before DraftKings and everything, and he would try to bet me, and he would lose.
It's going. He's going way back, way back when I was still nothing but a pro wrestling fan who kind of liked MMA. I'd bet, and I always lost. I'm like, who's the bigger guy? Like that's how my bet was. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take the white guy. Ricky, you take the black guy this time. You know, it was just like it was just fun bets
I
back
like
then.
this guy's tattoos. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's how it was back then. But then when I got into it, he what he was talking about with Ronda Rousey and shit. Then I picked Ronda Rousey the night Holly Holm or whatever beat the shit out of her. I was so fucking pissed that
So
whole.
did everybody else at the time.
Oh my god!
So did everybody else.
I wanted to kick everybody's ass that I picked. I said, "Fuck them, they suck at fighting." And I don't know if Ricky remembers this, but the only thing that made me feel good that night is there was people standing too close to me, and I just ripped really, really bad ass all in their face as they're eating.
Did it smell like weed or beef?
No,
roast beef?
it smelled foul, like fucking rotten crabs.
Rotten crabs.
Like I wanted to get up from the
smelled
table
like
and walk
the
away.
bad side of Maryland.
Yeah. Ricky's apartment. No, let me stop.
I remember seeing McGregor at a bar with against Diaz, and guys being like, "What the fuck? Why isn't he fighting? What's he doing on the ground? This is stupid. This is stupid." I was like, "Yeah, right. You guys don't know shit about fighting. You guys don't know shit."
Oh no.
Yep. The casuals come out to play when the big fights are on.
Yeah.
That same night, Ricky might remember this. We had I think you could look it up. I could be wrong. I think it was something like Mark Hunt versus Big Nog or something that night. And the one guy was trying to act like he was kind of a little bit bigger of a build guy. He's like, "Oh, I don't know who this Nogueira guy is, but he better keep his standing with Hunt." You know, and I was like, I looked at him, looked at Ricky, was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It was just we cringe when we go out. That's why we don't go out for the fights no more.
Me neither. Yeah, it's not worth it. I'd much rather enjoy it at home and.
Too many people try to talk to. The more I learn about fights, the harder it gets to watch with casuals.
Oh man.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
I don't mind if it's like a friend that's a casual, because then at least they'll listen to you when you say, "Well, you're fucking wrong, dumbass."
No, I totally don't mind teaching my friends about it, but I don't want to talk.
Exactly.
It's like I barely want to talk to like some drunkie in a bar just because. So when it's about fights, I'm like, "How dare you get out of here, sir!"
Agree.
Exactly. I'm with you on that.
And you always know a certain few fighters that they bring up that you're like, "Oh boy, here we go." And it's like, unfortunately, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, like a few of those fighters, when they come up, like you almost feel blessed if they say John Jones. That's deep cut at this point.
Was Chuck Liddell fighting?
Yeah, that's just like, oh man, I remember Chuck Liddell, GSP. Remember when they fought?
Exactly.
like what?
Exactly. But they don't say even like Randy Couture's. They don't even say like some other badass Ken Shamrocks and Royce Gracie's. It's always Brock Lesnar. Do you know Brock Lesnar fought? Yeah, bitch. Back in 2008, I remember. I fucking remember.
I always point to E when they try to get. I'm like, I didn't watch back then. He likes it. He likes it.
Yeah,
he's like
I
trying to shoot pool. Like,
it.
bitch, why do you send this person over here asking me about Tito Ortiz?
I feel old thinking about some of those like Randy Couture versus Gonzaga and remembering that like it was a year or two ago, and I'm like, God damn, that was like 10 years ago now. God dang it.
Old as hell. Oh yeah. See,
Ricky pulls out some old ones for me sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, I don't remember that one.
Time.
And then like sometimes I'll vaguely remember them, but a lot of times I don't. Like even if I watched it,
bro.
the earlier years, I didn't take in like I do nowadays.
Some of the funnest ones. Czech Congo Pat Barry is an all-time great comeback.
I've seen that plenty of times.
Fuck, that's so good. But there's so many of those.
Shit out of Royce Gracie.
Right. Even Royce Gracie against Chemo is such a fun one to watch because it was like, what? You can grab the hair? Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
Yep.
Or what about any old Brian Calloway fight? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Nice. Those are old.
What the fuck?
This is so bad. We haven't even got to the second fight yet.
I know, that's perfect.
Well, we was talking shit, shooting the shit. It happens.
We have 4 fights to compensate for, and 1 feint.
What happened to Ray Borg this time, man? Does anybody know? Nobody.
Cyborg.
Personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
Weight
That's what he
cut.
said, but he said that before. Probably. What's worse, for him not to show up or not make the weight cut because he's a habitual misser who's already been made to move up a weight class because of.
I think if he misses weight again, they're
It's
gonna let
worse.
it go.
Yeah.
That's why he's
So
like,
now-
no, I got shit. No, I'll
think
cash a
that's
few more
better.
checks.
I think a
But you
lot of
can't trust
other
him. You can't fucking
guys
put him in.
are going to have to learn how to feint like that, though, because that's the easiest paycheck. You weigh in, you're about to do the walk, do some slide, feint, collect a check. You're
It's
ready to
seven
fight
gyro.
another day. You're ready to fight another day. That is the slickest
You do get
trick
show
in the
money.
book. Both of them get show money, and they can both fight on a pay-per-view soon.
Borg doesn't.
Who wants
Borg
anyone to
doesn't.
tune in for this? No one was watching this. This fight, no one was watching this. So I would have fainted too. I would have been like, oh, you could get on that DC fight card. I'd have been like, oh.
I don't think they would have fought at Ray Borg, honestly. I think you know, like with
Ali
all this
Abdullah
like
King.
shit going on, I think they would have been like, you know what? If you miss weight, it's not that big of a deal.
For like the 7th time, really?
But it's like all these
Exactly.
short notice fights and everything. It's not like I don't know. I feel like everybody gets kind of more of a pass these days right now.
And normally I would
He's got
totally
more of a
agree
passion anyway.
with Ricky, but Ray Borg's fought like 3 times during COVID. Like, he's been super active of really recent. I feel like he's filled in a lot of the fight cards in Vegas.
Has he fought 3 times?
I feel like he's been
least
more
twice.
active than Borg has been. I feel like he's been more active in the last like 6 months to 8 months than he's been in like
But
the
he
last
fell
2
out of
years.
a couple other ones because he was supposed to face Davishvili, and then fell out, and then got booked with this one, and then fell out of this one.
Yeah, I remember being super fucking upset when he pulled out the.
That
Was
Right
it
after
Rob,
he
right?
lost, he was gonna fight Davishvili, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
That's
way
a
to go.
kind of perfect
Go back
fight,
to-
though, for Davishvili. It's not for Borg. I don't really care, but it's like it works kind of like a Brunson at this point, where I want to see what somebody else can do off of him for like a Davishvili to see what he'd go up against another grinding wrestler like that to see what else he'd have to offer. That's kind of like Derek Brunson, where I was like, okay, here's the fight that makes or breaks Shahbazyan. Whoa.
He broke. Damn.
I don't know. My hype chain being derailed, I can live with that. My heart being broken by that fucking Jennifer Miles submission before that I can't deal with this one.
I almost retweeted you saying this aged well, and then tagged Juice because he gets really upset about people doing that to him.
Yeah.
Like, this aged well because you were like, she's my favorite fighter. Like, this aged well, you dumbass.
I retweeted
That
it
sounds exactly
myself.
like you.
She's a hair fighter. I retweeted it myself with like I don't know, Steve Harvey face like.
She did get fucked up though.
You know what though? I said that on the podcast. I said I'm a little nervous about Jennifer Maya's ground game. Everybody just thinks Jennifer Maya's a walkthrough, but I think she's actually gonna. If I'm at Calderwood, I just stay on my feet. I had a Calderwood decision for this. I never went heavy in the paint. Didn't think it was a heavy finish. Evil Twin came on our show.
Why is evil?
I know. But you know what? It's like having a new person who I actually respect their voice in my own head of my own picks. It's like I have to figure out how to like when I first started listening to your guys' show, I had to figure out where you're emotional, who your favorite fighters are, what style you're emotional about, who you just hate, so you're always going to bet against them. Those are like the little kind of that's what I think.
You don't bet against John Jones.
I know, but those are the little things that I think it's not. Yeah, the person who picks might have awesome picks, but if you know how they pick off their emotions, you might be able to get 80% off them.
Yeah. I mean, kind of sounds like cheating, but it's not.
Being observant. But those right hands from Jennifer Maya were on point, though. I mean, I don't think it would have. If it never went to the ground, she'd have won. She was winning on her feet. I mean, it was right hand, and like Dominic said, that JoJo was not even moving. Like, she would just let the hits come.
Imagine her versus Valentina now. She just saved her own life.
Gosh. Do you think
that's all this was? She was saving herself.
She was engaged. They literally said, she's engaged. And I'm like, yeah, she's a head case. Perfect. She's on all cylinders. And then she was flat, as you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're like, oh, Jennifer Maya, because they have no one else. And, E texts me like, well, Calderwood's over. There goes her title shot ever. She's never getting one again. I totally disagree. In a normal division, maybe. In the 125, who else is going to fight Valentina? Jennifer Maya? So Calderwood, what? She's 3 fights away? Valentina's just going to hold that spot until she decides to retire. So I feel like Calderwood's one good finish away from being the girl again. Because
it's just
does she have any good finishes?
It's just so much different from Valentina and everybody else. It's just there's no excitement in that division anymore because the level is
never has been.
It's just so greater. It's so much greater.
I agree. Women fighters have never been exciting.
No, I mean,
look. I got twisted your words.
There's good fights in the 125, not for Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko, if you think about it, she is the only person on the planet to stay inside the octagon with Amanda Nunes, who's fought at 145, and she's a girl who fits at 125. She might even be able to go down 5 more pounds without a big hoo-ha. So it's like, for her to have that kind of skill to sit in there with the baddest woman on the planet, and the only person, I mean, yeah, you can call out early Amanda Nunes fights. That's not the same monster that Shevchenko's gone in there with twice. And to decision. That's insane. A 5-round fight to decision. So I think Shevchenko will go down as like the second best woman in UFC, at least right now.
I think she's the most technically sound fighter in women's MMA.
Oh yeah.
Period. She's better than Amanda Nunes technically.
Oh yeah. If they weighed the same, she would beat Amanda Nunes all day.
Yeah. I think she won the second fight, but that's just me.
I do too. But she didn't win the first. I used to be biased. That was my first unbiased rewatch that I watched on the show, where I'm like, holy shit. Like, Amanda had that fight pretty comfortably. I was like, and I wasn't a ride or die Valentini at that fight night that they first fought. I think that was Nate and Diaz Connor 2. Or no, it's 1. Was that Nate? I think it was Nate Diaz Connor 1 and Holly Misha. So it was like no one even remembered the first time they fought.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I don't remember. So, what do you guys think about Jamal Emmers getting the 24-hour notice over Vince Cachero from Hawaii? Nobody talked about him. He was literally like barely made the medical deadline, came in and had a fight of his life. I mean, I'm a Carchero fan here. Cachero.
He had pressure on him, man. He did not let up, and he has a chin. Took some knees to the face and just kept on going.
When he makes his real weight class, that's a fighter to watch, I feel like.
What is he, a 135 or 140?
I believe he is a natural 135 who came in on 24 hours notice and went into a decision, in Emmers unleashing in that first round. I mean, Emmers was on all cylinders. That clinch to the body, whew.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I don't know if it was the fact that his guard was shit or he was just punching right through his guard. But I remember thinking, like, Emmer's just like walking forward, throwing him just straight right through and landing. And he's always got that, like, deer in headlights look in his eyes. Like, and I was like, I just remember this guy. I'm like, man, this guy's pretty cool, but he can't put him out. I was getting annoyed. I'm like, fucking go out already.
I think anybody else would have dropped.
I think so, too.
I didn't get it. I was confused in that fight. Like, something's going on.
Well, Casey Kenny, looking up, I did watch a little bit of tape for the Carnero. Casey Kenny had landed a knee from the clinch, and I feel like Emmer saw that in the 24 hours and was like, I'm going to land that same knee, and went for it.
Yeah, like he was Anderson Silva and Rich Franklin.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, he was awesome clinch.
I thought Emmers looked good in there for 24 hours. Notice the other guy, I think there is a fighter, I think his name's like Barzola. The other guy felt like looked like a miniature version of that dude. I'm like,
I can see that totally.
So many fights got changed around so fast. I really, when I walked in the room and was watching this one, I was in the middle of like making a little snacky. I was like, what? This fight got made? Did this guy step in with Emmers after 24 hours and then Barzola stepped? What am I watching right now? I was like, what is happening? So I was surprised because I thought I was watching Barzola getting his ass handed to him. And then I was like, oh, who is this other dude? I never even seen him before. So, yeah, Emmers looked good in there, but I didn't know who the other guy was.
Did we get Eric Spicely and Marcus Perez fight? Did we get that?
No.
Eric
fell
Spicely
out. That fell out right at weigh-ins. And then there was a replacement who tried to make it to fight Perez, but he didn't make the medical clearing qualifications that Cachero did earlier the night, and as did Munoz. It was a shit show. It was an unbelievable shit show.
Jesus.
We haven't even got to the feint.
No, I mean, but hey, okay, so since we didn't get the Spicely fight, Nate Maness, what the? He just looked like shit.
Agreed. Again, this is where we didn't talk about it on air, but here what happened for me is I said, Maness, he's on about a week, 15 days notice for the fight. Oh, that's more than enough time to train for Munoz on 24 hours. So I let that sway me a bit more. Munoz came in with a wrestling heavy game plan. Was there a point deduction for dick kicks in this fight?
There should have fucking been.
I think there was in the third round.
I believe there was.
And one was ignored or something?
Yep.
After the third one, I was like, come on, ref, take a point. And he was like, strong reward. After that, I checked out. I was like, this fucking. I
was getting really annoyed because I'm like, so that's the whole new wave of the night is everybody's dick kicking, and rightfully so. Why wouldn't you? Because the ref is literally allowing it. You know, why not?
It always has been. You get one free dick kick.
Yeah, and it's just getting old.
No, I totally agree. We've talked about it on our show a few times. I think dick kicks, eye pokes, whatever you get a point automatically. The warning's before you walk into the octagon. We all know it right now. You get a warning from the ref before you go in and what he tells you to do or not do or what he's looking for. He's like, if you dick kick, if you eye poke, if you do whatever the things are, automatic point. The game would change overnight. The game
John Jones' game would change overnight.
DC's.
John Jones.
DC's. Sorry, I'm just always a DC hater.
I don't know if I agree with an automatic point because sometimes there are accidents. I know it's easy to make it look like an accident when it's not.
And points get deducted too. Fuck it.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? That even makes for more exciting fights because if it was an accident, you still want to win that fight. You better fucking finish it now, motherfucker.
And accidents happen, but if your accident's more brutal, where they actually cost like a scratch cornea or a fucking popped ball, you still might end up with a one fight over a point. I don't know what the disqualification would be after a stop fight, but I don't know. Yeah, or no contest, blue line.
Question: who's the guy that trains Justin Gaethje? Who's that guy?
Gary Coleman.
You bastard. Trevor Whitman.
Trevor Whitman. Okay.
Sounded right. Trevor Whitman, Gary Coleman.
He's been making
you and the different strokes references.
Did you see the gear that he made? The ring gear that he's been making? Like
I love it.
The shin pads, all that.
Mhm.
They need to adopt them gloves. I want them gloves in UFC because that would stop eye pokes immediately.
He's pitching it. He's been pitching it
curled?
for a while. Mm-hmm. They're
Yeah.
like a mitt.
But they're open so you can hold them, but they have like bands in them so they curl your hands.
Mhm.
And you can still like move them and grab shit. But when you're standing natural, they curve them. They don't hold them like this. So it would stop. It would stop.
You'd have to really try to eye poke somebody with those.
Yeah.
It would have to be really intentional.
Mm-hmm.
That with a razor cup, we're done with this conversation.
Like with a razor, like an actual
I don't
razor.
know a razor cup either.
You put a cup with razor blades that poke out the opposite direction. Kick me.
That's what kill
Kick me.
people.
Kick me.
That's patent
Kick
pending.
me.
Hey,
Grab me right by the cup.
the official goes to check the cup, comes up with a hand cut.
Kamaru Usman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez. Imagine triangles. Triangles would be deadly.
Wait until you get to the needles when you try to give me an oil check. The whole fight, you have this face the whole fight. They're like, what's wrong with him?
I'll stick my finger in there.
Oh, can you imagine somebody doing that? Trying to
oil checks happen all the time.
That's so nasty.
It's so nasty.
Instead of yelling and like, hey, get out my ass, like, oh, it feels so good.
Don't stop.
Oh God.
Have you, Ricky? You've rolled before. Have you ever had anybody pull your butt cheek to get over on a hip or something?
Yeah, it is
horrible. Horrible.
What's the word? Violating. I feel violated afterwards.
It makes you want to drag your ass like a chihuahua on the carpet. You're like, oh.
I haven't had that happen, but I've sat in a bathtub and just didn't sit right, where I felt like, oh, that split me different. Oh, that's not so great.
It can be brutal.
So nice.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So we had Madsen come in and not do such a great showing against Munoz, but then we had a fight or a knockout of the night potential in here against Jonathan Martinez versus Frankie Saenz. A lot of people thought it could be over in the second. I thought it should have been over in the second. They let Frankie Saenz really get murdered in there in the third. Did you guys catch any of this fun one?
This is why your brother left the chat. This is why. I said the same as Maya, and this is why I doubted my Maya pick so much, is because I said, Frankie Saenz does wrestle good. I'm nervous because I still don't know about this kid. And he's like, go with the other guy. And I was like, okay, knockout round 2. He's like, that's what I have. We're done here. Like, we move on. We don't need to talk about Frankie Saenz. Evil Twin came on our show, and he's like, hot take, Frankie Saenz. And I'm like, you do not say, maybe I will play a couple cards. He's so cheap. Put him on there. And then by fight night, I changed my pick to Saenz decision. Completely. Because I went crazy. It's like I have to... I already have all these voices in my head. Every time a new one comes in, I have to realize how much weight I should give it.
Stop hanging with Juice. All right, stop hanging with Juice. That's all.
I will tell you that some people, aka Philip, say that that's Ricky's stunt double. Frank Saenz or whatever. What the hell is his name?
Hell nah.
Frankie Saenz.
Yeah, they said that looks like him. I think I might have said that he was going to flying knee Frank.
No.
For real.
Ricky more attractive.
It wasn't a flying knee, but it was close.
I actually feel like I called the intercepting knee on our show.
I think I did too. Did I do it, Rick?
Specifically.
You did. You said he goes in for lazy ass takedowns. He's going to get caught with a fast ass knee. Not those words.
But it was the body work the whole time. the body work, those straight left kicks that Martinez has been showing in all of his fights. He's a contender. He did miss weight by 4.5 pounds. How do you guys feel about that?
He looked big.
Who missed weight?
Martinez.
4.5 pounds. He didn't even try.
He didn't even try.
He was just so much bigger than him too.
Medical limit. He actually maxed out the medical limit. If he would have been a 0.5 pound heavier, they would have just called it off for too much weight.
Right.
That was very calculated.
I put more money on Martinez when I saw that.
I like that kind
just because I'm not sure. What did I call a knee or no?
You did not call a knee. You did call a knockout in the second.
I'm gonna have to go back to the tapes because I can't trust his writing.
And you know who picked Sands?
You did.
Alpha.
Oh.
Alpha picked Sands.
Probably because he listened to our show before he went live with y'all and heard Evil Twin say, and he was like, those are some really buggy.
He's got a big mouth. I think he's padding his record with Bellator picks, but that's just me.
Evil Twin or Alpha?
Evil Twin. And Alpha, for that matter. Both of them. They're probably in cahoots.
Oh, shit. Bellator picks. I didn't even think about that. I should have. Conspiracy theorist.
Get the percentage up really high. Pick off favorites.
Oh, shit. Easy. What a tip. We're going to call him out next week. And by we, I mean you, because that's your brother.
Yeah, call him Mr. Bellator.
Oh,
that's an Evil Twin.
That's awesome.
Welcome, Mr. Bellator.
And here comes Evil Twin Coker.
Oh, that's All right.
So, Frankie Zanes isn't going to go anywhere. He should probably retire. Martinez, it looked good, but it is a 39-year-old fighter he fought. So I still like Martinez, but he has nothing but tough fights ahead of him. He shouldn't get any layups anytime soon. He looks like he's starting to make a run.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it was crazy. So what happened to Ed Herman and Gerald Meerschaert? What happened to Meerschaert?
Meerschaert tested positive for COVID in his third or second test. So he cleared the first one, cleared the second one, and then the third one, the day of, he popped. So he was asymptomatic for X amount of time.
Do y'all remember when Tommy Gunn fought with HIV positive?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking saying, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous when the whole fight gets canceled because someone in their corner has a cold. It's even ridiculous that I'm like, come on now. What are we doing here? We're at fight day. These guys, he might have a broken rib, a broken femur, and 2 concussions after this is over. Let's just do this damn thing. At this point, I don't care about COVID. I'm like, are you kidding?
That is some Florida thinking right there. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness, because otherwise we would shut down the world for tuberculosis, cold season number 2, flu season number 3. Thank God we have some Florida thinking, or these fights wouldn't even be going on. None of them would. Everybody would be tied up in their house, though. So thank goodness.
You're crazy. You're straight crazy. Oh, thank God for COVID testing, because that's fucked up. Nah, I'm glad. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing. I'm glad. Get it done. I don't.
Good thing that everyone's being as safe as possible. It'll all work out in the long run.
Yeah. Now Ed Herman or Kevin Holland said he'd fight Ed Herman. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, but it makes total sense. It's 2 weight classes up, so it's up to the sanctioning commission, and I guess they just weren't okay with it. I'd pick Holland in that fight, honestly.
I thought Kevin Holland fought at 185.
He does.
Yeah, 85, and Ed Herman was fighting at 205.
Right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
we need 195. God damn, we need 195.
And Herman used to fight. He fought at 185 before, right?
I think Holland might have fought at 70. I could be wrong on that.
Maybe. But yeah, Kevin Holland called him out on Twitter and everything. Said, I'm still here. I'll fight Ed Herman tonight if y'all want. And he called him some type of redhead joke.
Yep.
I mean,
That would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
Who would you
So,
guys have gone with?
what did y'all think?
Easy. Apollo
Against Herman?
Mm-mm. I want to.
I don't know, man. I would have to think about that. I think I like Herman. Just bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot bigger. Big weight difference there. 25 pounds.
205. He put on some muscle.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were both 185ers.
No, Herman was at a point in time, and I think Holland might have even been 70 for a bit.
Yeah.
So, definitely. Then we got to a fight of the night contender in a decision fight with Bobby Green versus Lando Venata. I came up wrong on this one, but it was a showcase. Bobby Green knocking down Venata all over the place, just kind of looking like he was firing on all pistons a bit better.
Oh,
fun fight.
Such a good fight. This was actually the fight that I'm like, okay, Bobby Green. All right, Bobby Green, you're really in there. Killer ring IQ, great head movement, better takedowns than Landau, which is good enough in the division. I loved every single thing I saw from Bobby Green.
Shit the whole fucking time, too. I love that. You can't see this? Here's a jab, bitch. Here's a jab. And he fucked it the whole fucking fight. I loved it.
One thing I noticed about Bobby Green that I really enjoy when he fights is he stays in your face even if he's backing up. His face is like forward, and it's like, I don't know, it just feels like he's in your face the whole fucking time, or in his opponent's face the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who
like
pointed
the aggressive,
it out, if it was Felder, but keeping the low hands with the in the face to like lure him in with the fast head. I loved it. I love it. Like drew him in every time, and then he always got a 1-2 off, like on a missed huge shot by Landau, which was just drawing out energy.
I don't know if y'all do this when you watch fights, but when Landau's sitting there and Bobby Green's doing that head movement shit, and as soon as he drops his hands to his waist, I'm yelling at the TV, Venata, jab, spinning hook. Jab, spinning hook, and you'll land that shit. Just jab, spinning hook. And he threw the spinning hook kick. I'm like, not now, you fucking retard.
Well, I don't say the R word, but yeah. But I do watch it maskless. So, we give or take what we...
Oh, yeah. Okay. I yell at my television and at the referee many times.
No, this was the first fight that drew me to... Somebody said earlier that I felt like they weren't really emotionally invested tonight, and I felt the same way. And this was the first fight that a sound came out of me that I remembered I was watching fights, and my wife was like in the kitchen cooking, that it was awkward for a moment with how loud it was, like, damn, good uppercut, or whatever it was, where it was like, it reminded me I was watching fights on a Saturday night, and I was like, damn, I got whiskey, I need to call E, like, things are real. Like, it reminded me I had life again.
Yeah, lots of fun striking. If you were talking about an actual uppercut, I remember yelling, "He's throwing Mortal Kombat uppercuts, motherfucker!"
Yeah. Down here, shit.
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it was bad. And what the hell's up with Venata just sitting there taking them?
That's kind of his style.
Man, them jabs was just hurting them heads. Bing,
yeah.
It's
I'm surprised you didn't get finished.
It's a perfect dancing partner. He can take a beating. I think we're going to see Bobby Green even get a little bit better. And Landau's about this guy. But now 3 set up perfectly, and I want to see this fight again. Not next, but later.
Yeah.
Fight of the night. 2 of them awarded to Groovy Landau. Bobby King Green win fight of the night on this one. So, yeah, definitely a lot of people saw it the way we're talking about it. It was the funnest one of them all.
It definitely was. It was the most competitive back and forth. And, I mean, that left hook that Venata landed on Bobby Green, and he, like, stumbled back. Oh, I was on for it. I was like, get him. I was happy.
I got a quick question. So, is it that because like both performances that Bobby Green recently were better than his other ones, pretty much, the other recent ones, Do you guys think that he's getting better, or do you think that he just had two decent matchups for himself?
I still don't like that style of how low his hands are, even though it was really fun. And he uses the Philly Shield better than anybody else does, Bobby Green, almost better than anyone else. But he's still there to get hit. Venata still landed a few shots. Both of these guys were wobbled, and that's why it was such a fun fight, because it was a back and forth. Did Bobby Green pull away? Sure. But Venata got his shots in there as well. So I feel like Bobby Green is there to lose fights, but he's still got a few left in there. He's a little bit older, if I remember.
How old is Bobby Green?
Bobby Green, I don't know how old he is. Maybe like 34.
Oh, if he I was hoping he was in his late 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
I thought he looked better, and to me, the win against Landau Venata in that style means leaps and bounds more than beating an aged Clay Guida. I think Landau Venata is kind of, and I like in no disrespectful way, he is what it is to be a gatekeeper in the UFC. He is this perfectly well-rounded guy that holds this like top 15 position and has for a little bit and will for a little bit longer. And I think Bobby Green was a guy that, or at least I counted him out, and he showed up tonight and kind of did way better than I anticipated him doing, even though it did go to decision. It was handed.
It was just a fun fight to watch. I loved all of it.
I like either of those guys fighting anyone forward, though. I always like Landau Venata fight.
I think any heavy grappler beats Bobby Green, to be honest.
Yep, I agree.
So that's why I'm not big on him.
What
he got,
division?
I think Clay Guida got baited into like I guess fighting standing more or something.
Bobby
I don't know.
It's just down the fence as well. There is like he does fight the hands really well. He does get back up to his feet well, so he makes it hard on people. But I agree with what you're saying though. There.
What division is he?
There's fights for him to lose.
170, right? Or no, 155.
155.
Oh, well, yeah, it gets grappling and jiu-jitsu intense toward the top of the 155 for sure. Like he's not a title contender, especially if he's in his 30s already. But I love watching Bobby Green fight going forward.
He's at least becoming a character, you know.
Yeah.
And did you watch him afterward?
No.
Oh, his post-fight interview was pretty touching, and it was like a perfect way because he's usually like a, cold-hearted badass going in, talk shit all inside, and then afterward he had like a really sentimental interview. So I felt like it was all like a perfect circle for
nice.
Bobby Green.
Hell yeah.
Perfect
so,
circle.
What do you think about the next fight? Vicente and Mr. Brown.
Randy. I actually picked the underdog in this one, thinking Randy was going to get a bit of his striking going off a bit more. But when he didn't answer any of those calf kicks, it was just the beginning of the end. It really started to shut down all of Randy Brown's game plan. But he stayed in there for a pretty long time. I thought that this knee could have been a little questionable at the end of the second round, but going back to the tape, it was legal. Randy Brown was looking for a way out. That leg was fucked up. Them chicken legs couldn't take that shit anymore. He was getting chopped apart by the calf kick.
Yeah, I was surprised. First of all, Luque went in there. I mean, not saying he didn't look fucking ripped, but looked way more out of shape than fucking Randy Brown looked in great shape. I was surprised how good he looked. I was like, damn, this guy is fucking buff everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then I just feel like you remember Elias Theodoro when he fought Brunson, and it was like weird, and he did like that weird ass fucking half-ass Showtime kick with like a light jog.
Yeah.
You guys remember that when it was like just, it was cringy?
Yeah.
The same thing happened like when Randy Brown was like backing up, like looking all everywhere, and then did the worst fucking attempt at a fucking flying knee. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing, bro? It's so embarrassing for all of us.
Hold on, buddy. Do not get cheese.
Huh?
I'm like, do not get cheese on, buddy. Do not try to get cheese. Like,
it just looked stupid to me. I'm like, yo, what is going on with this guy? Like I thought he would do way better, and he looked like he was outclassed and just looked weird.
Yeah.
The craftiest stuff will work. It worked against Paulo Costa, and I've seen it work in real matches as well. Somebody pointing to the ground in the middle of a match is so obscure that you will naturally divert your attention for a split second, and that's all you need. You just need that one to throw that right or to shoot that double leg takedown. But I've seen guys point at laces and be like, "You're lace." The opponent looks down and they're like, "Oh, here's my double leg. Here's my 2 points. Refs don't care. Is it sneaky? Yeah. But hey, you ain't cheating. You ain't trying." Daniel Cormier.
That's not cheating. Pointing
it was
anywhere
such a
isn't
fail,
the same
though.
as an eye poke. I feel like
it would have been awesome if it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But he like half skipped. He didn't even.
That's what I'm saying. It was the worst fail ever. Like, it was cringy.
Well, if it lands, then it's the best win ever.
Exactly.
It's one or
It's
the
awesome.
other. It's one or the other. You gotta try it. You gotta try it.
I thought his body looked different. Like, I didn't think he looked out of shape. He looked like he was in his Dan Henderson. Like, he looked like he'd spent more time grappling or
That's
something.
out of shape. When you say you look like Dan Henderson, you're out
I
of
don't
shape.
know. I think it looked different. I don't think he looked like that, and I think he looked wiry, like twine cord, like he was made of cord, like his muscle is getting denser or something underneath. He looked denser to me.
His gut definitely looked like flabby to me.
I agree.
I mean, I know
he did look like
I'm
he
the
was
least
carrying
one to
more
say that,
water.
but
No, he did look like he was carrying water. Definitely, like he did look different there. I was just like looking at him across his shoulders, and it could have been how like tall and long Randy Brown, looked next to him.
Very different body styles. That's the main thing I noticed.
Yeah, I enjoyed that fight, and I actually after it was over, and I'm like, okay, good, it's over. The first thought I had is, I'm glad Luque can get the knockout of the night, so then the fight of the night can go to Landau, and it's that time.
I ain't gonna lie, that kind of scared me just now. It was like a ghost just came in, like, I'm here.
Like the Ring.
That shit was creepy. I ain't gonna lie, but I know that's your daughter. I ain't trying to be like that.
Performance of the night would have been Vicente Luque.
Went to who? Luque?
Vicente.
That's what
Okay,
I think.
cool.
I was glad about. I was the second the knockout was finished. I was like, oh, good. I'm glad Luque got that. So then, what was the other one? Landau Venata, and they could get the fight of the night, because then it was so close up until that point. They were both great fights, but
They were good fights.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys think about that knee though? With
I thought it was close.
He texted me illegal, and I was like, nah. And then I was like, was it? I had to watch. I had to rewatch. It was close.
It was close. And then I was like, nah, it was legal.
He deserved every piece of knee that hit him.
Agree.
If you're gonna play that stupid ass touch game, you deserve to get knocked the hell
He
out.
was looking for a way out, though. Randy Brown got beat up way before that happened.
He didn't
was
want it.
losing the striking everywhere.
Yeah,
He didn't want. That's why he played that game and just ended up getting caught. So
Dominic.
I
it
like.
was inevitable.
Dominic.
Did you see it?
Go ahead.
Did you see when Luque had him in the clinch and he had that over top of the neck, and then as he pulled him down, he switched and grabbed his chin and pulled it up so he couldn't touch? I mean,
Next level.
yeah, that's a little sneaky sneak right there, man. He knew it was coming too.
Absolutely.
Next
But
level.
I think we can all agree that Randy Brown will forever be known as the guy that got knocked out from the bottom with Nico Price. Like, when people were like even when people I was watching it earlier, they were like, "Who the fuck is Randy Brown?" I'm like, the guy that Nico Price knocked out with the fucking hammer fist from the bottom, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Have you guys ever seen
I was
the
like, I think
movie
he might have
Clueless?
been Mickey Gall.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Clueless? Like,
Yeah.
Okay. There's a scene where she tries to hook up with this dude, and he's gay, but she doesn't know he's gay. She's trying to hang out with him all the time. And then they're driving in the car with her girl Dion before they get on the freeway, and Dion's boyfriend's like, oh, he got sugar in his tank. He a friend of Dorothy, yo. Like, what are you talking about? That reminds me of Buddy being like, he got hit from the bottom.
I won't even think of it that way, but we can put it that way.
No, that would be the ultimate thing in the UFC that we could say from someone is like, they got knocked out from the bottom.
Yeah, that's what he'll forever be known as, I believe, for real.
Yeah. Unless he can redeem himself in some way.
Not with a Luque fight. I think that was short notice too, right? Super short for a Luque fight.
I think that Luque came in on maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks at the most, replacing somebody for Brown.
That's a lot of paycheck right there. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. So he just got $50K more for that. Another person who ended up sacking a whole $50K, Jennifer Maia defeating Joanne Calderwood. JoJo, bad mofo. Can't say that no more.
She got her arm broke.
She got her arm fucking bent. Fucking hella bent. 30 seconds in, too. I didn't realize it was that fast.
She hit her with 3 right hands and then...
Yeah, and fucking armbar. The fuck?
Now, I did like how she displayed some real high-level skill by cinching the armbar back up because JoJo was out of the armbar.
Yep.
And she didn't panic, kind of sunk it back in, and then just really wrenched on it when she put her overarm. Don't cry. Jesus. You look sad as shit, Janie.
You look sad. Oh, no, I thought you were talking about Buddy.
I'm so
I was just looking at something real quick.
I was like thinking of that fight again in my thing. But JoJo, I love her not because I ever thought she was a world beater. I never she was never gonna give any title run for any shot. I love JoJo for not those reasons. And Jennifer Maia though, she should have had that fight by D. She should have gotten a decision. I did not think going to the ground was wise, but it did not look like JoJo had any business being on the feet.
Yeah, she just got beat on all facets. Did you see the little post that they did with JoJo where she was repeating the old lines from the Ultimate Fighter? Where she did what's his name, the Julian the Let Me Bang Bro thing.
She did that.
Awesome. That's awesome. I did not.
Just let me
that.
bang, bro.
She is the sweetest.
I do
voice.
let you bang.
She has such a thick Scottish accent, and she's like, "Let me bang." It just it was funny.
Please let me bang, bro.
You didn't even know what it meant. It was funny.
Classic. That was a great season. Was that where that one guy also got slapped unconscious and was like, I wasn't out, and he's dead. He's looking up, he's like, I wasn't out. Everyone's like, dude, you were so out.
Isn't that the one?
Go on.
Was it Tony?
I don't remember the whole season like that, but I did just get Fight Pass so I can start watching that shit again.
Yeah,
damn! I don't know if I could again.
That would be a funny show for you to watch,
actually,
Mystery Science
really
Theater. Good. Is not the fights as much as watching the old seasons of The Ultimate Fighter, like The Real World or Real Housewives. Yeah, that fight's sad. I don't think anyone who's gonna fight against Bullet, Jennifer Maia sure ain't. And then JoJo Calderwood shouldn't have taken that fight, but then they were just trying to build her up because nobody else is in that division to take on the Bullet.
Well, she's injured, so she's, they got plenty of time to do another match to kind of build hype for that.
She's been traveling America, swimming everywhere in bathing suits.
Yeah.
They say she's injured.
Yeah.
Does Antonina beat Jennifer Maia?
No way.
No.
Doesn't.
No.
She's gonna take it to the ground and just.
Yeah, Antonina's garbage.
Does anyone in the 125 be Jennifer Maia, or is she ready for her shot?
I think that there's fights that she can lose still, but I think that it's just a fairly far gap between her and Shevchenko. But hey, the betting lines made me think that about Shahbazyan as well, and that came up wrong. We've seen that bite us in the ass before, so.
But I know hindsight is 2020. But did you think like I said before? As soon as we found out, or as soon as I've found out that Shahbazyan hasn't been further than 3 minutes in a fight, I was like, oh damn.
But he has. He went to the decision with Darren Stewart in his first fight ever in the UFC.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Yeah. And that was a really good decision. It got really close. Darren Stewart came back with takedowns in the end of the third round. But, I mean, Shahbazyan showed a lot of heart there. What we were saying on our show was the fact that this stayed 3 rounds is really telling, because it's like someone knows who they can't go 5. And guess whose camp that was? I'll tell you real quick who can go a whole 5. Where Brunson really relied on his wrestling, just like he did in his previous 2 fights against Saradoa and Heinich, and took off that first round. And Shahbazyan was done, gassed, absolutely done in that second round. I'm surprised they let it go in the third. The end of that second round was, I don't know what else you need, Herb Dean. He's done.
Herb.
I really liked what Brunson did. I mean, I think he was fighting very violently. I mean, he was throwing fucking bombs, throwing elbows. I feel like
wrestling,
he was really trying to put him out. Yeah, but I'm talking about like when he would get him against the cage, he was like throwing some mean motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you were like, this motherfucker's really trying to put him out. It was purely like it wasn't like he was like, all right, well I'm gonna wrestle him against a cage. I'm gonna hold him down. He did that while beating his ass, like for real. You know what I mean? He was beating his ass.
He didn't grind him out like Maia, where he just ran in, took him down, and that's all we got to see. I agree. Like, Brunson took some shots. I was, like, kind of impressed. Like, it was the Brunson that fought Robert Whittaker, that same like that I had for Brunson when he was fighting Robert Whittaker. That first round, I was like, hell yeah, Brunson, this is everything I knew he had to win this fight. And then he got on his roller skates. And from that point on, I feel like Brunson's fight career has kind of been on roller skates, but he seemed patient and level-headed. I thought he took shots, so he wasn't just glass-jawed. It wasn't just like, up, one and done for Brunson. He didn't just... I thought he showed veteranship. The stupidest thing that Shahbazyan did in the whole fight was allow Herb Dean to rush him after the illegal eye poke. Once the eye poke happened, take your full 5. Take your full 5, homie. Don't let... You ready to fight? He was... Yeah... I can see.
I thought they don't give no time for the eye poke. It's either the doctor looks at it or you go.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. You guys know more.
And he asked for the doctor, and Shahbazyan called no doctor.
Yeah, he said no doctor. He said I can fight. So okay, I thought they just got 5 minutes regardless. I didn't know they had to have the doctor.
I don't believe they do.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
never
I think
mind.
he's right on that.
Never mind.
Strikes allow that.
He was like, "Let's fight."
Biggest hype train: Ronda Rousey. Head movement. Head movement. Again.
Now,
no.
That was
with
too.
Darren Brunson, do you think the camp change has really helped him a lot? I mean,
absolutely. His last 3 fights, Thuridoa, Brunson, or Heinich, and now Shahbazyan. We said it on the cast. The line swayed me though, but I was just like, if he comes out with his wrestling game plan he did against Heinich, this is a super different fight. If he comes out on his roller skates, Shahbazyan's got this all. Brunson didn't. He came out and wore him out and then just put it to him. Great. Again, second round, he was out. The end of that second round, Herb Dean called in the doctor in between the rounds, gave him an extra break, and then didn't even allow a full TKO. It was really the takedown and some mild punches, and Herb was like, he should have stopped it at the end of the second, and he knew it.
Yeah, you seen like when Brunson took him down, he took him down pretty easily, and then like you seen Shahbazyan's arms; they were just limp. He was
done. He was done.
I think we.
Yeah,
go ahead,
buddy.
Okay, fine. I think that we all heard Dan Hardy from his house yelling, "Throw in the towel!" Stab the fucking head!
I kind of agreed with Herb when it was stopped. It didn't need 10 or unanswered strikes. At that point, it was like, I kind of saw us quit in the corner too. I saw the end of the fight like you guys did, where I'm like, whoa, did Herb stop that? Or he looked kind of over at the end of the second. So it was like leading up to it. I thought he already had quit in him. I think every case is a case to case. Like, as much as I want to put there wasn't 10 unanswered strikes there, or it's like, that's it. I hated on her so many fights that this one I wanted to be like, dude, I was like, I totally agree with Herb there. That fight, like, stop that. There was no need for that to go further. He just quit the second he could.
How'd you guys feel about the announcers tonight? I feel like Dominic Cruz was finding ways to agree with the officials, regardless of the situation all night long.
Fuck Dominic Cruz. Can I just say that? He is such a yes man. It makes me sick.
He was very yes man today.
Sick. He has the best IQ for the game. He explains it better than anybody else. But God, he's a yes man. Just stop.
He's a know-it-all little dweeby.
Yeah, I want to
actually.
I want to see him and Dan Hardy. Him and Dan.
Did you hear that Dan Hardy got his Dana said he'll get fired if he does that again?
Yeah.
To the whole UFC.
Push Mark Goddard. I mean, that kid that pushed Mark Goddard was fucking stupid.
Hey, Mark Goddard almost got a piece in there. You see him? Mark Goddard was like, "You don't fucking talk to me that way."
You know what? I wish he would have smacked the shit out of Goddard.
I know.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Dude was in the wrong for holding the choke like he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
But also, fuck Goddard.
And did you see that dude that won by DQ? He was like, "All right, cool, win."
I didn't see that. What happened?
Yeah. He raised his hand. Mark Goddard was like, "All right, you're whatever." They kicked the other guy out of the ring, and then the loser got his hand raised, and he's like, "Disqualification," and he totally like cheered and was like, "All right, cool. I got a fucking." He was okay with it.
But I'll take the win.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, not my fault. He didn't
lost some brain cells there for holding the choke too long.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Do you think that there's a not maybe right before a fight, but do you think there's a way you could faint before a fight that it's just excitement or nerves that you're okay to fight? Not Trevin Giles and Holland, but maybe you faint within. Like, I just know people that are standing on the altar waiting to get married, and they stand with their knees locked too long, and they're just, like, so excited, and they're standing up at the altar for, like, 20 to 40 minutes, and they pass out. But it's really just, like, nerves over, just weight cut.
The fact that you lose consciousness, I think it can mean so many underlying issues might be going on that if something by small chance happened, they would be sued so fast because they're like, he passed out beforehand.
No, I think it's good that they get a full checkup or whatever they give them at the hospital after that. Would there be a time limit? I don't think there is because of only weight cutting or just in general? Because I know when it has to do with weight cutting, it becomes that whole much, it's that whole extra nerves, like somebody passed out while they're cutting weight. So do you think it could just be total nerves, or do you think it's a combination of everything involved, or?
Combination.
Because he was kind of short notice too, right?
I don't know.
No, I think theirs was on for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, which is a long.
Okay.
But all of this whole card was pretty fucking.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I thought Holland had a different fight, but I don't know. So many of them have changed. Yeah, so many of them have changed. I'm like, I have no idea what happened.
So like when I used to do MMA and help fighters out, we used to take our fighters and make them take naps in the back before a fight, before they maybe 15 minutes before their fight, we'd wake them up and warm them up. But that's only because of the nerves and the jitters, and they didn't want them to pass out because of nerves and jitters.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I don't want to say Trevin Giles that was part of it, but I almost want to say that because why else would you faint like that? It's just so weird.
Who did somebody tell you look like tonight, Ricky?
Frankie.
I can see it.
I think you look a little more like Kevin Giles.
Oh yeah.
Or Trevin
Giles.
Hold on. Who's the celebrity that he really does look like that everybody says? I don't forget who it is.
Oh, I've gotten Cuba Gooding Jr. a lot.
No. The one that the old MMA podcast used to get on you about. I can't remember the Fight Addicts or whatever.
Oh, Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
What was that movie that Terrence Howard was in with that hip hop movie?
Oh, yeah. Hard Out Here for a Pimp. Shit, what the hell was that called?
What was that long ass name?
Hustle and Flow, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Hustle.
Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, Rick. They clown on you today.
You started. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, but that first one, whatever that first one was, I couldn't even remember it. No, the first one that was mentioned tonight, I couldn't even remember it because I'm like Frankie Zanes, yeah. No,
because he had the beard. It's the beard.
Yeah.
Well, it was Philip. He's slightly not all there. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's Philip.
AK Kill You All. Some of you might know him.
Oh, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yes.
Every time I hear this guy on stream, he sounds just like Jerry Lewis, and I cannot hey, lady. Oh,
you need to request Jerry Lewis thing on the YouTube or whatever for my stream. Just when he hears it, he'll be like, "Oh, that's my voice."
Is he doo-doo feet?
Yes, that's doo-doo feet. Doo-doo feet.
He was gonna cut someone down, and he was just like, "Whatever."
He was trying to rap.
I was like,
he was like, yeah, he was trying to do a weird rap, and he's it rhymes something with feet, but he's like, "Smell my doo-doo feet." Like what? How old are you, bro?
I'm 14.
But no, that sounds like it's for from an 8-year-old to me, real young. He's 15, by the way. I shouldn't be hanging out with him.
That's horrible. He's a good guy.
He beats my ass on the game. I have to keep him around. He's one of my best training partners.
I've watched him beat your ass on the game.
He beats my ass. He keeps my grappling in check.
If he's only 15,
so that makes a lot more sense.
Then doo-doo feet is...
Okay.
He needs to work on it. He still needs to work on it. At 15, he needs to work on doo-doo feet. That's gonna get
Rick will tell you at 15, I was way more.
Yeah, but you're a heathen.
I mean, he's right.
Exactly. This guy sounds like a good kid if he's saying doo-doo feet.
Right.
At 15,
they called me a latchkey kid or whatever.
At 15, doo-doo feet.
Shelter? I don't know.
The boy needs help. He needs Jesus.
My best friend needs help.
So Shahbazyan, you don't think anything about his takedown defense? I thought he did some good things in there. It's Brunson. He's a vet. He's one of these good guys. Maybe he's underrated a little bit. Shahbazyan's
he needs to leave his manager. He needs to leave Glendale Fighting Systems, and he's got a lot of other stuff there, but he needs to get out of his own hype train. The same thing that happened with Ronda. You get a lot of yes people that glum onto you all of a sudden because you can fucking pay the bills. Because guess what? Shahbazyan having Ronda as the manager, he's getting paid a lot more money than he should be at his fourth fight in the UFC. He did headline, but yeah, the hype train, he needs to get out of that hype train. He needs to get away from those guys and, be on his own. He's been there since he was 16.
Yeah, he needs to do something different.
Travel.
That was wise words.
I think that why leave Ronda Rousey when that's the main thing getting him money?
I'm not saying
he already got that. Now he can't go down from that. So now it's only go up, even though he loses, he's still at such a high standard, just like St. George and everyone else. You can't go down from a $90,000 contract to 50. It doesn't work that way. There, you can only go like the same or above, especially with Ronda in your corner. That's where he has a name to still be able to fight lower level guys and get paid and still have Ronda management. I just think it's the gym. He needs to leave that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I thought you were saying like leave Ronda's management. And
I
everything.
wouldn't even think the management too, just because Ronda's a fucking head case.
I would keep that name attached to me as long as possible because I think that only
Smart.
Some people only know Ronda Rousey and didn't know who that guy was. You know what I mean? That's why they kept saying her name so much, just because they want to push this kid. And they're like, yeah, Ronda Rousey approves.
In the middle of the fight, they're like, Ronda Rousey's trading partner when he's 16. Jesus.
Yeah. Learned great grappling, huh?
He's never going to get out of the shadow of Ronda Rousey.
Correct. That's why he needs to get out of all of it.
Well, since the hype train's derailed, he might as well live in that shadow.
But no, because then you'll never be.
Then you become Ronda, and what happens? You walk away in the shadows.
Yes, it's a lot shorter of a fight career.
Isn't it kind of embarrassing how many times they said that he was the training partner of Ronda Rousey? And I am not trying to be Ronda. She's in the top 10 greatest female fighters of all time so far. But to just be for that to be mentioned so many times for a grown ass man, it just didn't. I didn't understand. It would have been fine to just be like, she's at the gym with him.
To the viewers like us, that doesn't mean shit. But like I'm saying, like Ronda Rousey's more of a household name. They were speaking to the casuals.
I agree with what you're saying. With her name should be in the mix, but I think that you got to build a hardcore audience for people too. You can't just. I understand new people are what bring people in, and that's Ronda Rousey. But you got to give him his own credentials a little bit in it too. And I felt like that was the focus. And I heard her name so many times in his workup that it was kind of holy shit. I heard her name so many times. They said stuff I never realized that she was associated with him. I knew they were at the same gym. I didn't know she was his manager, his training partner, that she had been holding his hand since he was 13. There was it was so much mention. I was just whoa. It did seem like it built a big tree. It made the shadow bigger, that if he were to ever try to get around it, ESPN definitely made it a bigger shadow for Shahbazyan.
Yeah, so it doesn't do anything for Edmund at this time, but to the people that are kind of newer or the casual, it made Brunson's victory that much better because they're oh, he just fucking derailed the Ronda Rousey training partner hype train. Right. Holy shit. He beat somebody that trained Ronda Rousey, one of the greatest women fighters of all time. They only know her as that. You know what I mean? They don't. I think that it's just they're building hype, but it really, a lot of us know that it wasn't that great of a victory in a way.
Yeah, but it just becomes kind of one of those things now. It's polluted now of the loss of Shahbazyan and the way Ronda walked away from MMA. That so anyone else that joins the gym that may be somebody that's coming up, anyone that gets that kind of hype of being the Ronda Rousey training partner, it's they're gonna get finished. They're gonna walk away, and not that for Shahbazyan, but it just becomes. I haven't even looked on Twitter. I just imagine already it becomes a whole thing of what the casual trolls didn't know because of how much. Not that it shouldn't be there. I think it's awesome for the kid and it's actually part of his legacy, but it kind of overshadowed some actual shit he did in the UFC a little bit to me.
I just hope it doesn't kill him to be having an ego. Oh, I'm Ronda's training partner. I can't get better. And, being around that whole shit.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't brag about that.
I know, but that could be shit coach, like E said, where that guy is such a yes man kind of coach, where I don't know if that kind of style coaching is good, where it's constant oil check tickles and constant you're the best in the room. I don't know if that's great. Edmund had good takedown defense, but he had no answers for all that. Even the knee he took to get that the second takedown came off of. I'm such a novice when it comes to shit, really, with MMA, when I'm talking to people that even have actually rolled. I know not to do a knee with a guy who has wrestling takedowns. Like, that's what you kind of avoid in that situation. So there was a lack of IQ part on Shahbazyan, where Brunson vet all day. I don't know. I was disappointed because I was so high on Shahbazyan. He was like my dude, and he's just been winning. This is like hard pill
against nobody's.
Do you think being a main event might have affected him as well? Because Brunson main evented a few of them. So like this was Shahbazyan's like first main event. It was like his big fucking moment. It kind of. Do you think that could have affected him or no?
I don't think so, because the lack of crowd and the fact they didn't go 5. If they were going to go 5 and they got into the 4th and 5th round, I would say that. But 3-rounder, that's a regular scheduled fight. The only difference was the crowd, as the lack thereof, which would, I think, put the more pressure on you. But I could be making that up as well, and it got to him. I have a sneaky suspicion that Shahbazyan, this is going to happen more than once with Shahbazyan if he doesn't make a lot of changes as far as his strategy and, I guess, cardio, because that's, I think, what really lacked.
And maybe Brunson is a badass. A little bit. But maybe he fixed a couple things. He looked calm in there. He didn't get off on any of his Brunson rolls where he just looked like he loses his head into swinging for the fences all of a sudden. He looked measured and calculated, which are all words you would never use for Derek Brunson before. So if he can... And you said something before I came on. I don't remember watching Brunson versus Machida, but if you look at the resume of guys but Brunson's fought, it is like legendary status. Mm-hmm. He should be making his run. It's now or never for Brunson. I was kind of excited he won afterward, even though Shahbazyan, he was like a hype train I was so excited to be a part of, but Brunson, I'm like, it's his time. I like that romanticism.
Just to throw it out there, I just recently rewatched that match, Brunson versus Machida, and it almost seemed as if it was kind of a lucky knockout, just to be honest.
It was a big-ass left hook.
I'm just saying, like, it kind of was lucky, but at the same time, you can't be mad at the dude.
Yeah.
Who's next for Brunson?
Chris Weidman?
Darren Till?
No.
Till
why not?
off a loss, Brunson off a win. Aren't they opposite in the ladder of UFC rankings?
Yes, that would be.
Why not? What's his name?
That's a good choice. I like that.
Who's the dude that just won? He just heel hooked Kelvin Gastelum.
Jack Hermanson?
So him versus Darren Till I like better.
I like that better.
I like Hermanson versus Till better than Brunson versus Till. I feel like Brunson should fight somebody other than Till. I don't know. I feel like
Cannonier's high up though. Brunson is still like 8. I think Cannonier's like 3. And Jared.
I feel like Cannonier and Whitaker should fight to see who fights the winner of Costa and.
I like that.
And
that's already made. That fight's made. The Whitaker and Cannonier will fight October 24th.
It's cool. What about the winner of Hall versus Yoel, or the loser?
Yoel. How hard was this fight actually? Healing time. Maybe it depends how hard that fight is going. I'm not anti it. It's just
who else is there?
I guess it's Darren. It has to be Darren Till. I mean, because Darren Till's number 6, Kelvin Gastelum's number 7, and then it's Brunson at number 8.
Have him and Kelvin ever fought?
Yeah, but Kelvin's just coming off a loss to Hermanson.
So what? Fuck it. Let him fight. Let him bang, bro.
I like the idea of, like, if you're lower in the rankings, you have to come off a win, and if you're higher in the rankings, you come off a loss, and that's how you meet to overcome the dude in the rankings.
I agree. I like that.
I don't know what the UFC thing is. It just seems like whoever is excited for what region they're trying to promote a fight, and they're like, "Oh, look at the rankings have changed." But I think Brunson's going to be a hard guy in a way because for hype of any. I don't think he has any, and he might be a rougher guy for people to take because he is so well rounded. I don't see a paycheck with Brunson, so he might get ducked. I don't think he's an easy fight. I think he's fun for a couple of guys in the division.
Yeah.
His head looked like a dirty tennis ball.
I did not like it. He looked like there was a bald spot that was spray painted white right here, and I'm like confused.
Probably
by this
was.
whole look. I don't care about going bald. Just do something like don't spray paint your head. Or I don't know. I don't know what was happening, but it was.
Why blonde? Why blonde? Like,
I got a random one that probably won't happen, but I kind of still like the matchup.
Okay.
Woodley goes up to 185 to test and see if he wants to go to 185, and then fights Brunson.
That would be a good matchup, actually.
I don't mind that at all. I would actually like.
I'm not in love with it, but I just think it's an interesting match.
Yeah.
They have the same style. The Brunson that fought tonight has a very similar style of Woodley. It's like more calculated with the power shots and then takedowns when needed. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. It could end up being very boring. Very boring grind fest.
I think Brunson beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it.
Good. You getting tired?
You got an upset belly?
I got the spin splash. I might pass out a couple times.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He ain't gonna be able to fight.
You gotta, we better call the fight. Uh-oh.
Hey,
You guys.
hey, remember, when you lay down tonight, 1 foot on the floor.
Get some OJ.
Nah, fuck it.
Get
Make
off,
it an
get
adventure.
some orange juice.
Ah,
Lay down right on the ground now. Lay down on the ground now.
yeah.
You need some calories.
Pee your pants.
Eat some
No,
pizza.
don't be your... You need calories.
Whoa.
Shave your eyebrows.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Shut your shit off, E. Motherfucker.
He didn't look good at that when he just walked away.
I think he's alright. We all get fucked up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, we do. He said, I got the spinnies. And there he comes. Hey.
Bro.
Bro.
Peace out, brother. Do this.